Booyah! Oh my goodness gracious. Hey, looks like we
Going
have
on?
ourselves I know we have ourselves a crew of people up in here. What the hell's going on? No, I'm just kidding, guys. Just kidding. Oh, well, welcome into a Thursday night show. We are graced with Donovan, and I guess Eli decided to show up today. Oh, that's
Hey,
just a miracle in the making.
I heard about a three-way with you and Donovan, and I passed that up. Really.
Oh, well,
I'm drinking.
well,
Hey guys, I'm drinking water. I'm drinking water tonight. You'd be proud of me. I'm in my hotel
no, no,
room.
no.
No booze. No booze.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, everyone, welcome in. And before we get started here, real quick, I want to let's make sure everybody joins our Discord. Join our Discord if you can. Yes, we need more people up in there. It's gonna be hopefully. I want it to grow. Um, but yeah, we got pretty much spring football up in there. If you want to talk a little AFL, XFL, it's USFL, whatever the hell you want to call it, spring football. We got a little basketball. We're heavy on football. Got a small little part for MLB stuff, but most of it's a lot of football. But you never know. Maybe the baseball might grow. But yeah, I'll throw all that good stuff into our comments down below. Join up, have fun, conversate with me. Well, if Eli ever shows up, Donovan's in there all the time too. So if you have any questions with baseball stuff, he's there. And yeah, we are actually on Eli. Did you know we're actually on Google Play now? Google Pods now. Yeah,
All the
yeah,
Google supported Android
Moving on up
devices.
here. Come on.
yeah.
Now.
I know, right?
So much
yes,
hostility. So much. But
I
there's
know.
so many good things. So many good things going on. Discord and I'm probably missing some other things. I thought I could break out the Tom Brady jersey one more time.
Yes, yes. We are actually on Spotify. We are on Apple Pods, and now we are on Google. So yeah, if you're on any of those platforms, if you want to listen to our show, if you don't catch our show, that's where the audio version will be. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Let me get the Discord link into the comic section comment. Well, I didn't know we're in comics. Great, guys. But yes, hey, did you guys
keep talking? I'm gonna keep doing a little shimmy here while you talk.
Oh my god. But yeah, if everybody did you guys actually see, the Durant and whatever Kylie Irving trade, all that good stuff? Some major trades happening last night, which is crazy.
Yeah, y'all start, man. Kyrie. I almost think the Nets are a better team without him, and some of the statistics back it up. I know they were talking about something on the Herd Colin Cowherd's show, and I'm like that. I didn't know that. I'm like, geez, the minutes he's on the court with Durant, they're actually worse, and that would surprise some people because they just had a monster month there. I mean, the Nets gained a lot of ground, and they're back in the top 5 in the conference again. So,
yep.
But yeah, I'll see what happens. I think he's kind of a cancer. I know he won the championship with LeBron, in back in 2016, but a lot of that was LeBron and the role players, Kevin Love and those kind of guys. Yeah. Kyrie's a cancer. I don't want anything to do with him, honestly. So I think it'll move, and then we'll see what happens with the Nets. I think they've got a legitimate chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. And people, you just traded your second best player. Well, not
any freeze is up.
Wheeler and Kyrie, yeah, they're both cancers. But in terms of the other trade that just happened, I think finalized last night or this morning, but
Durant.
Westbrook had been on the block pretty much the last year. At least from the beginning of the season,
probably more than likely.
You knew he was going to be moved at some point, and it's good to see D'Angelo Russell go back to the Lakers. That's where he started his career. his first couple of years in the league, and then he kind of had an incident with was it Donovan might know who I'm talking about, Swaggy P. Didn't he rat him out or so that he was cheating on his woman or something? And it was a whole anyway. So there was a whole big thing, and they shipped D'Angelo out, and he worked his way around. He went to the Nets for a little bit, and then ended up with the T-Wolves. And so, he kind of comes full circle. I like the deal for the Lakers. If you're LeBron, it's a win now. I mean, they didn't have to give up AD. They still got Anthony Davis, still got LeBron, and now with D'Angelo Russell, that's that. It's not the greatest big three in the world. I mean, it's not like his Heat days. It's not Bosh and Wade.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I mean,
most definitely.
This is a nice big three. I mean, this is definitely a playoff team. I mean, this is definitely a team that can at least go to the semis. They can at least be a top 4 team in the Western Conference now, I believe.
Yeah, more than likely. With Ben Simmons with the Nets, he got out of there with the 76ers. That was toxic for him and whatnot, But overall, I mean, it's all right. The only trade I really cared about really is the Durant trade going to the Suns, which makes Suns the top, they're really the top contenders for actually, taking it all really now.
I don't. Oh, I didn't know. Okay, so now, all right. This is what happens. This is what happens when you drive truck all day. Okay, this is what happens when you're cooped up in a liquor truck. Maybe the fumes were getting to me. So I was under the assumption that I was like, why is this fool talking about Durant? And
it actually happened.
Here it is.
Jamie broke
the news to me. Jamie broke the news to me. Okay, he was shipped to the Suns. Yeah, that's crazy. They got Bridges.
Yeah, they gave Cam Johnson left, and there was one other guy. He got that left.
Bridges, Jay Crowder.
Yeah.
4 picks.
I'd like to retract my statement on the Brooklyn Nets. This is what we call a fire sale. This is about them tearing up the league the last month. They're done. Okay, even in the Eastern Conference, they're done. I'm sorry. Come on now. What is this? What is this?
Right?
And the Suns didn't have to give up hardly anybody. I mean, they didn't have to give up Chris Paul. I mean, definitely weren't going to give up Devin Booker.
God, no.
Or DeAndre Ayton. Any of the big studs, they didn't have. I mean, but Durant with a healthy Devin Booker with DeAndre Ayton in the middle. Chris Paul still got something left. That's his friend. Yeah. You might be right, Jay. I mean, the Suns and Lakers, Warriors, and maybe the Nuggets. Those might
maybe
be the big
Mavs.
four. Those might
Mavs
be
maybe in there.
Mavs too. Yeah, if there was a top 5, Mavs would definitely be the 5th. As much as I dislike Kyrie, I mean, I love Luka, so. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they won't play any defense, but I mean, the Mavs will put up 125 points a night. So
yeah,
but I know.
Yeah,
I mean, you get your hands on Kevin Durant. Even at this stage of his career, I mean, it's a major move.
Yeah. Any thoughts? Any thoughts, Donovan? Real quick.
I'm not a huge basketball guy, but I do agree that that Durant joining that squad makes them pretty damn tough. And like you said, like Eli said, what'd you have to give up?
Well, they did give up quite a bit. I know they gave up some of their draft picks.
It's their future. It's a win now move.
It's a win now. It's an arms race. I mean, that's all these leagues. I mean, when you think about it, man, all these leagues, and NFL's like that now. But yeah, NBA's been like this for years. There's always a smaller group of teams. There's always been about 5 or 6 teams that can win a championship. And so anything you have to do right now, I mean, obviously the contenders are the Bucks, the Celtics. Maybe if you like more of an upstart team, the Cavs, Lakers now with some of the trades they made, obviously the Warriors, they're always going to be there. So there's certain teams that they will be there, but to jump these guys, you got to make some moves. I mean, the Suns were I mean, they've been a disappointment. I know it's just a regular season, but and whatever, we're at the All-Star break. I mean, or just about. I mean, it's February.
Yeah,
but
pretty good, pretty close.
pretty close. I mean, you're gonna need some home court. I mean, they're gonna have to get
Yep.
back up in the top 4, and this is gonna do that. I mean, with Kevin, they give up anybody. I mean, this is for the future. You think Suns fans? You think being a fan of a team that's going to be bad probably the next 5 years? You know, for the NFL. I mean, we sold our soul for Tom Brady, but he got us the chip, right?
Oh yeah,
So
most definitely.
I don't think Suns fans are going to care if they're 19-63 in 5 years, you know,
Yeah.
or they're awful in a couple years. I mean, if Durant can bring them the chip,
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I have to agree.
Right move to make.
Yeah, and you know,
should I give up? I mean, I give up 10. I give up 10 first-round picks to get an NBA. I mean, for a team that's never won a championship. I mean, the Suns have been around since what? Probably the late 60s, early 70s. They've never won a championship. For a team like that, I give up 10 first-round picks to get Durant and potentially win a championship. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I heard that it's very possible that Durant wanted to, you know, be with the Suns even last summer already, you know. So this is kind of a win-win for him and the Suns too, because the Suns were great last year. They ended up getting beat, you know, which kind of sucked because they, you know, in my eyes, they were probably the better team, but you know, just probably had some flaws in some of their offense and stuff like that too. You know, just couldn't get over that hump, which was disappointing. So now maybe with Durant being there, you know, they can probably get over that hump now. And I hope they win a championship because, you know, I don't think Chris Paul has a championship, and this would be a nice thing for him to get a ring on his finger and, you know, maybe retire.
I know. I agree. I mean, Chris Paul has been one of the best point guards in the league for, you know, since, you know, 05 when he came in. I mean, he's been a great ambassador, great player. You know, you don't need off court stuff from him. He's not an ass clown like Kyrie or diva like, you know, any of these guys. So, you know, Chris,
most
you
definitely.
root for. And you know, after and that was embarrassing last year. I know you're a Mavs guy, but it bounced in the second round when people were talking about championship, especially when the previous year, you know, they made the NBA Finals. I mean, people were thinking the Suns were going to take the chip last year, but now you come back, you you barely give up anything. You give up some a couple role players. That's what they are. That's what Bridges is. That's what Cam Johnson is. They're role players. You give up some draft picks. Absolutely.
Yeah. Chad thinks they got worse, but you know, I guess
Chad's a glass half empty type guy. Talk about Chad.
Well, I mean, everybody's got their opinions, and that's true. I mean, Chad kind of, you know, I guess he kind of digs his paw into everything a little bit, but you know, is it right? Is it wrong? But that's everybody's opinion. But you know, if you stick around, Chad, we might be talking about some football stuff here in like a minute. So, and then you can get your 2 cents in. How's that sound?
Put his rankings up, so we got
Yep. Oh, good boy. Well, I mean, if you think about it, you know, Bridges is not too bad. Yeah, but you know, I mean, Jay Crowder's been around for a long time too, though. I mean, he is a good, you know, he's a decent player too. He's kind of been up and down.
He's
though.
like
That's the bad thing about it.
He's like a poor man's Draymond. I don't know if Chad would agree with that, but yeah, he's like a poor man's Draymond. I mean, he's a winning player. He does all the dirty work. I like Jay Crowder a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I know how Jay in a couple of my fantasy leagues and stuff like that, you know. But you know, every team's gonna be a little bit different. Every team's gonna be dysfunctional, you know. So I mean, it's pretty much comes down to if you want to. It's almost like selling your soul. Like look at what the Rams did, real quick. You know, with you know, look what the Rams did.
Rams.
You know, so I mean, honestly, I mean, that's about correct. You know, I mean, yeah. It might vary on, you know, what the Suns are scoring, you know, overall, you know, I mean, it might not be in a lot of these categories either, but I didn't dig too much into that because I'm not following NBA all too much. But overall, I mean, I just thought that Durant getting out of Brooklyn was probably a good thing for him overall. But yeah. But anyways, I think we're going to get into some of these awesome overall rankings now since Eli did his overall rankings a couple shows ago. Me and Donovan kind of been doing the AFC, NFC, and now we kind of put everything together. And yeah, that was kind of exciting, man. I know probably for you, Eli, it was probably pretty easy. I know, Donovan, you can kind of weigh in there real quick.
Yeah, for me, the top, you know, 10, 11 slid together really well. and then you started having to think a little more after that 10 for me, and then after 20, who the heck knows from there? So
Yeah, I kind of worked on mine a little bit this morning, and I was like, so I kind of put everything together side by side, and then I'm like, I started thinking, I'm like, oh, I kind of got the first four, and then I had to kind of think a little bit more because it's kind of like there was a lot of guys I liked, didn't like, and I was like, so I ranked all 32 guys, and I'm like, God dang, talk about it being difficult because there's some guys you like, but then it's like, is their offense good enough? And then it's just like, I was kind of up and down on a lot of these guys, and I'm sure Eli's gonna be like, "You are you shitting me?" We're gonna get some reactions out of Eli for sure. I know, I just know it.
Well,
So
I had a major reaction when I found out Kevin Durant was traded. I was like, I don't care if the guy, I don't care if he is 85 years old. Chad, Kevin, we all grew, especially I'm the youngest here, but I grew up with the guy. Like Kevin Durant, it's just like he's still got name value. I mean, so I was like, oh, I was shocked. I was like, oh my god, I've been in this liquor truck since 3:30 this morning. Good lord. Yeah, no, we get some quarterback rankings going on, and I adjusted a little bit, so this is fresh. I'm not just regurgitating what I had said on a previous stream with Jamie. So
yeah.
you're gonna get a fresh 20 here. We weren't able to do a graphic. That's my fault for not getting the stuff to Jamie in time, but I'll verbalize it. I'll you'll get my 2 cents. Trust me, and then these guys too. So
Yeah, for sure. So here
get
we
your
go.
popcorn. Get your popcorn ready, like
Yeah.
T.O. said.
So we got Donovan's 1 through 6 up here. So let's kind of go through some of this here.
Yeah, for me, Josh Allen's the number one quarterback. Just he doesn't have a lot of those. He doesn't have the same weapons as say Joe Burrow, but he just seems to be able to get it done. He gets it done with what he's got. He's a big man and punches that ball in the end zone. He'll get the rushing touchdowns. He gets easily 700 yards a year. They just tack on to the top of his statistics. And Stephon Diggs, until proven different, he's a top 5 wide receiver. Just has the ability to catch, just about anything, anywhere, anytime. And as long as they can get him the ball, Josh Allen to me stays on top. Mahomes easily, arguably, could be, they could flip flop. Mahomes, another guy, just he has Kelsey and then just some odd cast of misfits behind playing wide receiver, but just seems to be able to get it done. That's just a system for him. So that keeps him up towards the top. For Jalen Hurts, this is a guy that could move higher yet. We saw it he ran even better this year. Devonta Smith is turning into a phenomenal wide receiver. AJ Brown he's getting older. I don't care for AJ Brown. He's arguably the better receiver right now. Smith he's emerging. They got a solid team. Defense gives them the ability to put up points.
Yeah.
Burrow, so many weapons. It's easy to put him at 4. Herbert, really, he's a working man. He's a working man. So he's up at 5 for me. The only question would be, do those wide receivers change? Does Allen leave? And then Watson. That's probably one everybody scratches their head about. But I think Watson has a little bit of spunk left in him. And we got that first 6 games out of the way. I do believe that they come back next year with a better plan of attack and with Watson at the helm from day one. If he gets back to the old Watson, he has the ability to be that top quarterback again, but he doesn't need the tools. He just makes it happen. So that's my top 6.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, I think Burr, I mean, in my eyes with, I like it overall, but, I think Burrow's a little bit better than Hurts. I don't, in which you'll see in kind of mine, I don't have Hurts that high in my eyes. But Eli, got any perspective real quick?
I'm not gonna doubt Jalen Hurts again. Okay, not gonna do it. Never, ever, 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 ever.
Hmm.
Make it the Aki way. No, don't forget the Bev. Never, never, never. Josh Allen turns the. And we're gonna disagree. I love these two guys. Disagree on some stuff. Josh Allen, he turns the ball over too much. I don't know how you can't put Mahomes at one. Two, Jalen, he's close. I mean, him and Josh Allen. I mean, they would literally be neck and neck for number two. I can see. I mean, I can make an argument for Josh at two. I can make an argument for Jalen at two. I think they're kind of interchangeable. I love Burrow at four. For the five, because this is 2023, and I could see he's going to go up through the roof. I mean, he took that next step this year, but Trevor Lawrence is going to be there. I mean, he's going to be with Burrow. And he's not. I mean, Mahomes is on a whole different planet. But he's going to be there with Burrow, maybe with Jalen. By probably midseason next year. I love Doug Peterson. I love Calvin Ridley. I mentioned that on a previous stream. Calvin Ridley's going to be playing with them, and if he's motivated, the guy is an all-pro level talent. And a full season of a healthy ETN. They're going to add a few weapons. I liked what Evan Ingram did, but you know what? Hey, maybe you trade up a little bit and go get Michael Mayer, the great tight end from Notre Dame. And add another weapon. But yeah, so I got Lawrence at five, and these will be my top six too. Then Jay could jump on his. So I'm just kind of backing because that's my list. Because I'm a dumb list isn't up there. I got five. And at six, I got Herbert. So, yeah, there's a few differences, but the general theme, the only guy I would take out of there is Deshaun Watson. Because I towards the end of the year, honestly, I know it's going to be different with an off-season program, with Stefanski and some of the weapons, with Amari, building a rapport, a full off-season. And I know what Deshaun did previously, but I didn't like what I saw. I didn't like it one bit. Whatever it was, the 5 or 6 games he played. I think it was, maybe 5 games he played. They were rough. I mean, that did not look like a $46 million, top 10 quarterback in my opinion. I mean, he looked good, against Washington, but the other games was rough. But yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, it's so this is mine. This is mine. So it's gonna probably be like, what? So I got Mahomes at 1. I got Burrow at 2, and I like Allen at 3. I got Herbert at 4, Fields and Hurts at 5 and 6. I mean, Holmes, overall he's just the top guy. I mean, he plays elite. Burrow in my eyes, has taken that next step. He's got legit wide receivers. The running back situation is great. Allen with his little bit of dips here and there. He's at number 3 for me. Even though he does run a little bit, he does get you some of those couple touchdowns, running touchdowns up in there. So in my eyes, Allen's still a pretty elite guy in my eyes. I just, the fact that he's had a couple of, I think it was 15 something interceptions this year. So just not quite what you see out of somebody elite, with throwing some non-bad interceptions, and I like the fact that Herbert's got, he pretty much got Kellen Moore. And I think, that's, even though he left Dallas, I just think that their offense is going to actually probably spur a little bit more. So their offense is probably going to be in the top 5 this year. So as long as they can keep their wide receivers, in their, with them, or keep them with Herbert. I mean, I just think that Herbert will be, number 4 overall in my eyes. I think, he'll bump up more than what he did from this year. He'll have a better season next year. As long as he keeps their wide receiver crew, I think overall, I think I like Herbert there at 4. Kind of Fields and Hurts are kind of in the same boats. I'm hoping that Fields can actually take the next step. So I got Fields at 5, and then I got Hurts just a little bit after him. I just like the fact that Hurts not Hurts. Fields is actually he's kind of a lone ranger. They're still kind of finding themselves, but they actually had stuff kind of kind of going for them. They might not know. I'm not sure what they got going on with the running back situation, or what's coming in or out, or if they're going to take a running back first overall. Just don't know. But I like the fact I like Hurts. Not God, I keep saying Hurts. The field hurts. But yeah, those are mine.
I think you
Eli.
just want to switch Hurts and Fields for sure because that hurts me to see that. But you
Eli's
know,
slinking over
I
here.
know you
He's
don't.
like,
I know
"What?"
you don't see any. I know you don't see any tears here, and I'm like the white Stephen A. Smith. I get it, but I'm crying on the inside. Jalen Hurts cannot be number 6 on anybody's fantasy quarterback list. It can't happen, Jay. It can't happen. No more disrespect for this man. I underestimated him, and I paid the price for it. No, Jalen Hurts has to be in the top 5. I'm not going to argue a bunch because I have, when we get to the next section, I have Justin Fields at 7. So I'm not going to shit on Justin Fields at all. I gotta have, but Jalen's got to be in the top 5. If you want to put Herbert, all those 4 guys, we all kind of agree on the Allen, Burrow, Mahomes. That's kind of consensus. But yeah, definitely, Jalen needs to move up at least one spot. One spot. You hear me? One spot. I feel like I do need some wine.
It was not easy. I'll tell you that. I mean, it wasn't easy. I mean, it was actually kind of difficult because it's just kind of overall thinking like, well, I like this guy and that guy. He does run a little bit, or he does, he does some awful, in my eye, I mean, Hurts is kind of came into himself, this one year, so let's see if he can do it this upcoming season. Let's see if he can repeat what he did, and then I might see if he's a
He
legit
will.
number 5. So, but I mean,
He
that's just
will.
my opinion. That's just my opinion.
I
All right, Donovan.
I did have cash before. I'm about ready to lay 200 down on it right now.
Hey, I'm going to hold you
Jalen's
to
my
that
man.
all right. Yep. So I have Lamar Jackson at 6, and that's all pending on him staying healthy, of course.
You mean 7?
I'm sorry, 7. Yep. So he's got the legs to get the job done, and they fit the system around that. He's not a great passing quarterback, in my opinion, but he's got the legs to carry him. Then I got Kyler Murray, and I know there was some controversy between Jamie and I on Kyler. DeAndre Hopkins is gone, and Green's retired, and that makes, as of today, probably Marquise Brown their number 1, who, whatever. But
Probably more than likely.
I just think that, yes, he had D-Hop when he was playing as a top level quarterback in the past, but they should bring someone in, I would think, or give him some sort of weapons. And if he can perform at near old his pre-injury days levels, he's easily a top 10 quarterback for me. I could put Dak above him just because Dak, again, he seems to have, they seem to give him just enough weapons to rack up the yards, get the touchdowns he needs to stay in that top 10. Now, Rodgers, we've watched him, regress over the last few years. And it as a Packers fan, it pains me to put him at 10, but I got to be realistic. And he just isn't doing what he did in the Super Bowl years. And I almost wore my Super Bowl 45 hat, but my head got fatter since since he went to the Super Bowl, so it fits too tight for me. But Cousins, this is exactly where he belongs because this is exactly what he does every year. He might throw more touchdowns next year, but he'll throw just as many interceptions to bring him right down to about the 11th quarterback. Doesn't do anything exceptional. Tua Tagovailoa has 2 of the best receivers in the game. he would have to really screw things up to not be 12th. He could also move up there. This is where it really started getting hard for me. There was a lot of decisions here but to me, this makes sense. So Tua, I don't know if he's as polished as he should be. And now he's got, pending health issues that he'll need to worry about on top of it. So
Yeah, and
I
that
just can't
does.
put him higher.
Yeah, and that does suck too. I mean, I know they said he was cleared now, and hopefully he can stay healthy for this upcoming season and whatnot. I mean, if he does get hurt again, he might be done. And that's the shitty part about it.
Yeah.
Where do I begin here? Well, Donovan, I got Lamar at 8, so like I said, we're pretty close. I had Fields at 7. Obviously I'm biased. I'd love for the Ravens to fuck this up so that Lamar comes down to Tampa. That's exactly. So I'm scheming. I'm like, how do we work this out so that Kyle Trask because if we had a top 32 list, Kyle Trask wouldn't even make that. So I don't.
Yeah, Kyle Trask right now, he's my 32.
Yeah, so it's like, dude, anybody's better than Kyle Trask. In terms of Kyler, you know what? I had him a little higher, and then the more I think about it, I'm like, okay. He's lost a few weapons, new coaching staff. I mean, it might be a defense. They still have a freaking head coach. It might be a defensive guy. I mean, they didn't get Sean Payton. They didn't get Frank Reich. Yeah. So who knows who they end up with? I don't. You know what? I had Murray. I'll be honest. I had Murray at 15 because I'm going to wait half the year. I know he's got the legs. I know what he's capable of. But let's drop it here. Kyler Murray, he's going to be available half the year, less weapons, probably more attitude, just as much money.
More than likely.
I don't like that recipe. So get Kyler out here. Dak losing. People might argue, well, Kellen Moore wasn't I liked. You know what? Maybe I'm in the minority. I like Kellen Moore. I like Kellen Moore as an offensive coordinator. I think he's going to do really well with Justin Herbert. I like Kellen Moore. Losing him's going to hurt. A bit lower.
Maybe.
Aaron Rodgers, I have lower. Aaron Rodgers, maybe he ends up with the Titans. I don't know. Or maybe he stays in Green Bay and Dobbs and Christian Watson Watson takes that next level. He becomes like a Pro Bowl, all pro level guy, and maybe Rodgers is the beneficiary of that. And he ups those touchdowns. But I think he's shot. I think he's a almost 40-year-old quarterback, and he didn't take care of himself like Brady and Breeze. So Kirk Cousins, Cousins I have at 12. Yeah, he's in 11, 12. He's nothing special, but he's solid. 28 touchdowns. Maybe 4,000 yards ish. I mean, he's solid for that every year. Like I was telling Jamie, I'm like, you can win a fantasy championship with Kirk Cousins if the rest of the team is strong enough. He's probably the low end of a quarterback you can win. Obviously you'd love Mahomes, you'd love Josh Allen, you'd love all these guys, but I think the lowest you could probably go to compete and win a championship is probably Kirk Cousins because he's so solid every week. Same guy. Rest of my list, I had Geno Smith at 9. I like Geno, and they're keeping the same offensive coordinator intact. They might re-sign Tyler Lockett, and they got a bunch of draft picks. If not, they'll probably draft a receiver pretty high. Maybe the Addison kid from USC, bring him in. You lose Lockett, hey, DK and the Rook, see what happens. I like the tight ends they have. Obviously, you got a full season with my boy Kenneth Walker. So he's going to have. Geno's going to have a bunch of weapons. Let's factor that in. Stability for the first time probably in his career after a monster year. I like Geno there. I can't believe I'm saying this. Danny Dimes at 10. Brian Dable is a miracle worker. I think he could turn me into a playoff level quarterback and
Ooh,
put
that's
up
scary.
Numbers. Yeah, the guy's a magician. Okay, Danny Dimes not gonna, and he's another guy too. I've ripped for years, but with this particular coach and this offense, I'm not gonna rip it anymore because they're only gonna add more weapons. The Giants are gonna be drafting offense. The defense they've always taken care of that. I think they're gonna re-sign Saquon.
They probably more than likely will be.
They need to upgrade the receiving core or get healthy, either or. You can't keep. They don't give him much to work with receivers. Same thing with Fields, obviously.
Yeah, more than
They're in
likely.
the same boat. And then I'll finish off here. I got Jared Goff at 11. They're bringing back the same crew. Ben Johnson, offense coordinator. They're only like with the Seahawks. They got draft. I mean, they got draft capital. They're going to add to the offense. I'm on. St. Brown, love him. DJ Chark he's got a little bit left in the tank. Probably a little more out of him. We'll see what Jameson Williams can do next year. They like the tight ends. That's why they moved off Hawk. They moved him out because of how they felt about their young tight ends. Offensive line, top 5 in the league. Yeah, there's no reason why Jared Goff can't put up a 30 touchdown season next year. He's capable, and not turn the ball over a bunch. I think to me that screams like top 10, top 12 fantasy. Nothing special. Like with Cousins, he's nothing special, but I mean, hell, you can maybe win a championship with Jared Goff, and we wouldn't have thought that before the year. He was a free agent guy. If you're in or you were in like a 12 or 16 man, I mean, you could probably get, or 16, he'd probably be a backup, but 12, he was probably on the wire. Like nobody believed in Jared Goff, and so yeah, they'll see what you have to say, but a few of the guys the same, Lamar and Kirk. Got Tua a little lower, but
yeah. Well, this is going to be an interesting. Pretty close there. Mine's a little bit different. I got Jackson at 7. I got Watson. I got down at 8 because I just think that even though with Watson kind of like having a few games in there, he looked kind of sluggish and not that great. I just think he's gonna rebound from what he used to be with the Texans. So I just think he's kind of in that similar boat with Jackson, kind of that even though he's got weapons, he was kind of on his own. But he's a capable, accurate passer, So I mean, out of his completion, his percentages were always high either way, into 60% completions. So that not like he didn't know what he was doing. But I got Cousins at 9. I like the fact that Cousins, he's a dependable guy. He does some stupid things, kind of like Dak too, a little bit. Not all the time, but he's going to be one of those he's going to be a great average second tier guy for whoever wants to pick him up. But that's just me. I Cousins at 9. I got Trey Lance at 10. I just think that the Niners got some stuff around there. I think it might be Trey Lance. So I got Trey Lance up there because he was their first round pick. And he's got that dual threat to him. He can run or pass, and I just like the fact that the Niners got a lot of a lot of players around him. They're set up for success. Let's just put it that way. Then I got Rodgers at 11 and Tua at 12. So we actually had pretty similar the last couple there. Rodgers had dipped a little bit, but I just don't think he's going to dip that far for next year wherever he lands. I think he'll end up probably being a little bit better than he was this last year. Depends on if he does stay or go. I think he'll end up wanting to put himself in a good situation. And just same way with Tua. Tua, as long as he stays healthy, I like the fact that he's got good weapons there. Tight ends, he's got Kaseki, if he does stay or go. And the running backs always is kind of a mess, but the running backs always seem to help his cause. So that's kind of my take on 7 through 12 anyways.
I do Trey Lance could easily get up there as well. There's so many weapons on that team. Another team that the defense keeps them on the field, the offense on the field. So, I could support that as well.
If the kid can stay healthy, some of it is your prospecting or your gambling. You're like, okay, well, I don't trust Tua's health. I'm not gonna, and that's my list. Some people might be like, okay, well, he does have some nasty weapons. I mean the cheetah. Jalen Waddle in his prime. Gesicki, if they re-sign him. They're probably going to add some more, probably some help to the offensive line to protect Tua some more. Yeah. So, but I just think I think the guy is one more concussion away from being done. or them
Oh
being
yeah.
done with the team. So and then you spent a high draft pick or whatever it is, dynasty keeper. Then you invested a bunch in a guy that might not be around in 2 years. And I worry the same thing about Trey Lance. So I have him quite a bit lower. I had him like if there was a honorable mention for the top 20. I mean, Lance would probably be like 22. I know what the guy can do with his wheels. I know what kind of weapons he has. Somehow there's a part of me that thinks Brock Purdy is going to be even with his surgery and all that stuff. There's a part of me that thinks that by the middle of next year, Brock Purdy will be the quarterback again. And they are not like, I don't know. That's just me.
I mean, I have to agree with you. It's very possible, but I think they would at least give Trey Lance a shot. I mean, it's going to come down to they're probably going to when season does training camp does open, they're going to let both guys kind of go at it and kind of see what happens. I mean, yeah, Brock Purdy did take these guys pretty far just for coming in. It's almost kind of like a Tom Brady kind of scene. Him being round pick or 6 or 7 in the draft, and Purdy just coming out and it's a good audition for Purdy, because you never know. I mean, in the next couple of years that, with his actions that he did, some other team might want to have him as a starter. So, I mean, either way, I mean, it's a good situation for Purdy.
Tampa Bay. We'll take it. We'll take Lamar.
That's where Garoppolo's going to Tampa Bay.
You're damn right. We're getting somebody. Shanahan, send your weary, send your hungry, send them south, send them southeast, baby.
All right. So we got Donovan's 13 through 20. This is kind of interesting. He does got Trey Lance up in there.
I do.
I can't believe I must be mistaken. I must be mistaken. Before you even get into this, Donovan. Okay, I got Stafford at 22, so I think he's going to come back healthy and be. I mean, the Rams aren't going to be as bad as they were. So totally, I'm totally okay with Stafford. I don't like how low Fields is. I don't like how low Lawrence is. Okay, you can move stuff around. But Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston.
I
can't.
He's spazzing out over here,
He
everyone.
just threw up.
Yeah, but I think he needed a timeout on this one. Holy crap.
No.
All right, Donovan.
All right.
Go ahead, Donovan. I'm going to sit here and enlighten me why Jameis Winston is the 15th best fantasy quarterback. Why?
Well, everybody, if if you're actually watching our stream, Eli is spazzing out all over the place over Jameis Winston.
A good spaz fest. So
I spent 5 years. I spent 5 years with this man. I don't care. I don't care if he had a decent run in New Orleans a couple years ago. I don't care. It's Jameis Winston. I don't care.
The deal is, as long as the crab legs are there, Jameis is fine. So here's the thing.
Yeah. As long as you keep him away from grocery stores and crab legs, he'll be. Yeah. he'll be in the playbook.
As long as he doesn't have to go steal them. So Jameis does throw a lot of interceptions. I'll give you that. But now a lot of things are going to have to happen in New Orleans to make sure that he holds status there. But Jameis still has some tools. Jameis still has some tools to get him. No, Jameis still has some tools, I believe. And he's had a lot of injuries to his wide receiver core. If he does end up with a little bit, he has talent. The man has talent. If he ends up with a little bit of normality, he can make it in that top 20. No?
I'm sorry, but I don't have Winston ranked at all. Sorry. That's okay.
Yes. I knew he would have my back. Of anybody on this planet, I knew it. Yes. That's why we do it. That's why he's him. He is him. He knows. Jamie knows.
Yeah.
We wouldn't try, and you could, because we all have our opinions on lists, and like I'm not going to trash Lawrence being 13 or Daniel Jones being 18. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but this was egregious. I mean, this was like whoa. I saw this and I'm like, Jameis he'll be the third. He'll be the third, especially with no Sean Payton, and it's been a couple of years no Sean Payton. But without Sean Payton, I mean, if this guy started a full season with a 17th game, he'd throw 35 picks. That's what he would do.
Yeah.
I can't, Donovan. I watched this man in 2019, and this was the next year. This was a Super Bowl championship team. Okay, this is Brady walked in, and we got Gronk and AB. Okay, whatever. They're past their primes, anyways. So basically, the same team, and this guy throw 30 picks in 16 games, and there was some other ones that were ducks that should have been picked. He probably should have had 40 picks. With an extra game, this guy could have 45 interceptions, and you want to tell me anything good he does, he can have a 300. I don't doubt that he can't have a 350-yard pass game. He might have some legs. Maybe Jameis has been losing. Maybe he's been getting into shape. Maybe he's seen all these young cats that could. He's like, oh, look at Fields. I got C.J. Stroud coming in. Oh, look at Lamar. He's like, I got to get in on the mobile quarterback business too. Maybe he gets himself 120 yards rushing. He's going to negate all that with 4 picks.
His biggest problem, he's been injured, right? The number, he had 5,000 yards in 2019. Like, yep,
I know.
30 picks. But the thing is, if he can stay healthy, all the man does is throw footballs, and
all he does is throw interceptions.
That's true, but he can still he still racks up the yardage, and if he gets a couple tools around him, he's a passer. But
that's what they're going to put on his tombstone someday. He was a passer. He was a passer.
Yeah. It was a bit aggressive, but Goff could probably go ahead of him just because Goff's a little more stable. Lance too, but when you get down to Daniel Jones and Justin Fields, like, they're not quarterbacks. Jamie and I talked about this. They're running backs that throw footballs, and you just can't bank on that. You can't bank on that. We went and talked about Michael Vick too. Like, yep. 1 year he had 1,000 yards. The next year he had, I don't remember what the numbers were, but
they dipped. I think they dipped. So I mean, overall, I mean, Lawrence is in a good position. I think he take, with them actually having a good coach. I think this just progresses. I think he gets better over age. And they do got a lot of good weapons on there, which I do like. So I mean, and Geno Smith is in a good situation too. I mean, they this was funny because us hiring Schottenheimer's son, you're just seeing his overall, like, we might dip just a little bit in the offensive production, but he was still in the top 10 for offensive production, even though we might, with us losing Kellen Moore, but bringing in a Schottenheimer, just overall, I mean, we might lose. Just we'll still be in the top 10 in overall offense, which is crazy to think about. They when he was with Seattle, they were in the top 10 overall for, I think it was either passing or rushing, one of those two. So overall, Geno Smith is in a good situation.
Yeah,
I like your Goff. I like I like Lance there.
You could already.
Go ahead.
You could argue, I mean, even Geno Smith, but you had Richard Sherman. You had like ex-Seahawks that had worked with this guy that were like, before last season, like, hey, this guy's legit. I mean, they're not going to take a big dip with Russ being gone. And he was right. I mean, he held more than held his own. you could argue like he almost put up he just about put up the numbers that Russ in his best season would have done. I mean, really, when you think of completion percentage, touchdown interception ratio, quarterback rating, like Geno's not a big rusher, but so Russ would get him on that. But it's like it wasn't that much of a difference. But Jameis Winston, Geno Smith was never a turnover machine. He was just kind of he had bad coaching and he was a backup. But Jameson's proven he has 5 full seasons of couldn't fix him. There's nobody that can fix him. I'll get to my list here. Enough about Jameis Winston. 13, Aaron Rodgers.
Get it off the
he's
screen.
Not quite. Quick. Yeah, I think the guy's shot, but I mean, he's still got value. I mean, they're going to put weapons around him, whether it's Tennessee or working with Burks, or if they get another receiver for him. If Derrick Henry's still got some time left, if it's the Jets, you got Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore. I don't love, but they're going to get Breece Hall back. So he's got a couple, and then Green Bay too. I mean, so wherever he goes, he's going to have a few weapons to work with. That's good enough to get Rodgers at least, 13th. Deshaun Watson, just out of respect for what I know what he's capable of. I didn't like what I saw at the end of last year. We'll see what happens there. From what I saw though, I'm like, if he starts tearing it up, then I'll be wrong. Then I'll eat a whole plate of, whole plate of shit. Tastes good. Tyler, you're getting half a year of a quarterback, and he might get hurt on top of that. So you might get a quarter of a season for this guy. So, and 15 might be nice. I might be being kind. Okay. Super down on him. 16, Dak. It's about where he puts up his stats. He's an average. I mean, it's what he is. He's a good quarterback, but he's average. Especially fantasy wise, like he's right in the mid. He falls right in the middle of everything. I have Russ. I got Russ moving up to 17. I like Sean Payton. I think he's cleaning house. He's like, Russ, get the wife out of here, get the entourage out of here, get focused on football. I think Russ is going to come back. And granted, this is the same guy that said he'd win the MVP this year. So I eat a bunch of crow on that. Russ is coming back. He's going to be number 17. CJ Stroud, the Rook. I don't even know where he's going to end up. I know he's got fantasy gold written all over him, though, because I think he's got more potential than Fields. I think he's got the legs and the arm, and I think he's going to end up in a better situation. So, as long as it's not Indy. Indy's dysfunctional. I think the Texans. I think the Texans should skip on Bryce Young. He's another Tua. He's another undersized guy. Go with the tried and true. Go with CJ Stroud. Start building that team, and Texans will be right with the Jags in a couple years. Titans, Colts are going to be the laughing stock of the league soon. Trust me. 19. You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say Kenny Pickett. I'm gonna say he takes that next step. He's not going to give you a whole. He's athletic. I mean, he could probably get a couple rushing touchdowns, but they're going to keep adding pieces around. And George Pickens, he's another guy. These guys are going to grow together. They're going to take steps. And Kenny Pickett, he's going to surprise some people. I loved what I saw probably the last quarter of the season. Steelers, I would have loved to have seen them get in instead of Miami, but didn't happen. Kenny Pickett at number 19 and 20. Me and Donovan, we agree. Matt Stafford's going to come back. And I think he's got at least one, maybe two more good fantasy years left. So, he's only 35. So we'll see what happens there. But Jay, I think it's time. You're on the clock.
Am I on the clock?
Got the first round pick. Jameis Winston. Oh my God. I never want to see that again. Don't you ever put that graphic up again.
Oh yes, but yeah, here's mine. You talked about having Kenny Pickett down there. I got Pickett at 17. I have Pickett at there at 17. So I got Goff at 13. Yeah. Yep, I have Goff at 13. I just think that we kind of mentioned already he's going to have some good weapons around him this year. The running back situation, it might be a little rough. I mean, if if Swift can stay healthy, that's going to help. But as long as they're bringing back all their crew for the wide receiver core, I mean, they might be a little undersized a little bit, but I mean, there's a lot of potential there. You got St. Brown being their main target. Hopefully that takes away a little bit with Jameson coming in. I drafted Jameson or picked him up, or I think I drafted Williams, sorry, and held him for however long for him to come back. And when he did come back, he didn't really produce, and so it was kind of almost a wasted pick for me. I mean, I had him on the IR, but still, it was kind of a downfall. I was like, I don't know what I was thinking, and it was kind of dumb of me to do that. But I mean, I like Goff. Lawrence, I got him up there. These last ones were pretty hard to actually kind of put this together because I was stifling between AFC guys and AFC guys, and do I like this guy better, or do I, so it was just really in my eyes, it was just kind of rough. It was hard, but overall, this is kind of my consensus as of right now. So I got Lawrence at 14. I like Lawrence. I just think he's just I think he's still going to progress. He's going to progress. He's going to get stronger and better. Especially with Ridley being there, he's going to be a lot better now overall. Jones, yeah, he might be a runner, but they got a lot of good weapons there. I think they're going to add some more stuff with two Daniel Jones, and with hopefully, Barkley coming back, that's going to help out tenfold there. Geno Smith is in the same boat. I like the fact that Geno Smith, he actually holded himself this year. So he kind of impressed me in that, in that asset, with them having the tight ends that are not the greatest, but they were still ball players in my eyes. Lockett, DK are always going to be the main guys. Then you kind of got a third wide receiver in there that's always no-namer. But overall, they did a lot of scrapping this year. I like the fact that Pickett, he kind of came into himself a little bit, so I like that Pickett to Pickens thing, so I think that's going to be around for a little while anyways. So I like that fact. And, I actually drafted Pickens. God, I'm all confused now, but I drafted Pickett in my dynasty league. So I got Pickett. I have Pickett, so I'm happy about that part. But I just think that, only downfall here with the offense is, I'm trying to think here. I'm having Braveheart here. Their main guy who usually catches the ball did not have a touchdown at all this year. So the rookie was getting more action than their main target taker.
My main man Deontay.
Yeah, he had no touchdowns at all this year. Zip, 0, none. So that's kind of a sad deal there. I like Prescott. He's kind of he's in that tier 2-ish. I mean, he'll put up points, but then he does stupid shit, kind of like that Kirk Cousins. I just like Kirk Cousins is just a little nudge better, but these two guys are pretty much in that same division for me. Prescott and Cousins are almost pretty much the similar quarterbacks. They can pitch you up a lot of yards. They might, Prescott will actually get a couple of rushing touchdowns here and there throughout the year, but those two guys are more your pocket passers. I got Stafford at 19. Stafford is great. Hopefully their offense is still going to be good. They don't have, Robinson anymore. They'll still have Cup. So it's just going to vary on who they're going to have. And I got Tannehill at 20 just because, the Titans are just still who they are. They might be young, but, their crew is still decent. They got Henry there. Tannehill is an accurate and decent quarterback overall. He doesn't do dumb things with the football. Let's just put it that way. So those are my 13 through 20.
I think we got to give some love to the Rooks, but that's coming. I know my stock is all over CJ Stroud though, because I saw that game against Georgia, and I'm like, yeah, he's got it. That's an NFL level defense he tore up. So I can't wait to see what I hope he doesn't end up in Indy, but and Bryce Young, we'll see what I think he's another Tua, but you put the right weapons around him, he could be Tua 2.0. And then Will Levis, the other guy that's highly rated. I know the Richardson kid from Florida. So, it'll be an influx of rookies too. It's just like, who do you attack? I mean, Kenny Pickett, he's not a generational rookie. I mean, when he came in this year, and he was probably the best. Him and Purdy were probably the best rookies, and neither of those guys tore anything up fantasy wise. So it takes a couple. Unless it's a generational talent, it takes a couple years for these guys to get rolling. Not everybody is Patrick Mahomes. They're great from day one, or Justin Herbert. But those are top 5 quarterbacks. So we'll see what the rooks do.
Yeah, my ranks will probably change too once the draft kind of happens. So I kind of got a good idea, kind of what overall ideal of what I kind of in my rankings anyways. I kind of got a good feel for everything, and I don't know. What are your thoughts there, Donovan?
Well, for me, I think you have Dak Prescott too low. I think you're pretty hard on him, but that's
well, I am a Cowboys fan. Come on now.
I know that I think that drives your ranking down, but I do think he should be up towards the Goff Lawrence edge at least, if not Jameis Winston level. But Tannehill, you said it best. Like he doesn't do anything wrong. He's just your standard quarterback. And Stafford, right? If he comes back and Cooper Kupp's back, if he stays there, like he's gonna rack up his points. So yeah, I have nothing wrong. It was so hard after 12, 13, like it just gets so hard because I tried to do everything based on a full season. I know Kyler's out. He could be there for the beginning. I know last week or the week before, they're wondering if he's going to make it. But you got to start somewhere, and that's why I started with full seasons for mine. So,
well, just real quick, I actually have Russell Wilson at 21, and I got Murray at 22.
Good man.
I have Wilson at 20.
We should almost do like. Oh, go ahead, Don.
I have Wilson at 21 as well.
We should almost do like a. Let's just say we should almost do like a keeper, 20, a dynasty 20, a 16-man 20, because it just depends. I mean, Kyler Murray's long-term prospect. I mean, if you buy into, I don't like him. I can see the guy saying "fuck this," going back to baseball. I mean, the guy was a top baseball pick. I mean, he could easily be somebody's second baseman. You know what I mean? So I don't even know if he loves football. I know he loves the money, and he probably loves being famous. I don't, and he's just uberly talented. That's how he got to the league. But I don't think he's got the fire of Josh Allen. He doesn't have the focus of Joe Burrow. He doesn't have all the other skills like Mahomes has, and he just doesn't have didn't have any of the attention. He's not even Jalen Hurts anymore. If and coming into the year, you would have taken Murray over Jalen Hurts 10 times out of 10. And it's like he's not even he's not even Fields. You're damn right. I'd take Justin Fields right now over Kyler Murray. Definitely long term. I mean, because we have a large sample size with Kyler Murray. We have a large sample size. And if you want to try, if he's going to fall in the draft, in a dynasty, if you're starting one up or keeper or something, that's fine. But if you're in just a regular 1-year league, I don't know why you'd waste your time with this guy. It's like with Watson it's like if you took Watson and you waited around, 12 games, I thought you were dumb. I think, unless he was on, unless you could stash him, you had him in the IR spot or something like that. If you can put Murray there, that's fine. But I wouldn't invest a high pick in this guy. And so I can't put him, I agree with Jamie at 22. I had him at 15, which is being nice. You just can't invest in this guy. He's not worth waiting around for. It's like the floozy that you took to prom, right? You're like, I just can't wait around for it. I'm going to take off. Okay. I'm going to pretend like this night never happened. And pretend like these 4 years with this guy never happened. I think the Cardinals, you know what? It's a hot take. It has nothing to do with anything we're talking about. But I think the Cardinals after this year should consider tanking and going after Drake May or Caleb Williams, the kid from USC.
Yeah, sure. Drake May's no Cardinal. I'll be like throwing up in my freaking mouth, like nope.
Jamie, no. Well, then you guys got to tank. Then you guys got to sabotage Dak. You got to go 3-14 so you can take Drake May.
Right. All right, so let's
Yep.
we're gonna recap. Let's back up and recap here real quick, and then we'll get into some MLB stuff too as well. So
Play
Donovan's
ball.
yep. So on Donovan's rankings here real quick, Donovan had Allen at 1, Mahomes at 2, Hertz at 3, Burrow at 4, Hertz at 5, and he had Watson at 6. And Eli, if you want to recap yours real quick.
I had Patrick Mahomes at 1. I had Jalen Hurts. This is a hot take. Jalen Hurts at 2. Josh Allen at 3. Joe Burrow at number 4. Number 5, I had another hot take. Trevor Lawrence. You damn right. And number 6, my main man, Justin Herbert.
Nice. And okay, so I got Holmes at 1, I got Burrow at 2, Allen at 3, I got Herbert at 4, I got Fields at 5, and I got Hurts at 6. And Donovan, go ahead.
Yep, for me, we went with Lamar Jackson at 7, Kyler Murray at 8, pending full season. Dak Prescott 9, Aaron Rodgers at 10, Kirk Cousins 11, and Tua Tagovailoa at 12.
All right.
And
so at 7, I had Justin Fields. Number 8, Lamar Jackson. Number 9, Geno Smith. Number 10, Danny Dimes. He's moving up in the world. He's like us. Maybe he needs a Discord channel. Number 11, Jared Goff. Ooh, yeah, I said it. And number 12, Kirk Cousins. The definition of average.
ooh, all right. And I have Jackson at 7, I had Watson at 8, I had Kirk Cousins at 9, Trey Lance at 10, Rodgers at 11, and I had Tua at 12. And Donovan.
Yeah, so Trevor Lawrence at 13, Geno Smith at 14, thou who shall not be named at 15, Jared Goff at 16, Trey Lance 17, Daniel Jones 18, Justin Fields 19, and Matt Stafford at 20.
Awesome. Eli.
I'll pretend like I didn't just see this. So 13, I got Aaron Rodgers. 14, Deshaun Watson. 15, and I'm being real nice, generous. I feel like Santa Claus here. I am wearing red. Got Kyler Murray. 16, I'm being nice. Dak. 17, got Russ. I think Russ is going to rebound a little bit next year. 18, the Rook, CJ Stroud. Don't know where he's going to go. I know the guy's got the wheels. He's got the arm. Got everything you need. Number 19, Kenny Pickett. He's coming up. He's another guy coming up. Come up with those vets, or not vets, but maybe get DeAndre Johnson some touchdowns. Maybe he get him off the schneid so he's not damn DJ Moore. And then number 20, Matt Stafford. He's coming back. Matt Stafford might end up being higher next year, especially with Kupp, and if they get a few more weapons. I mean, Stafford could jump into the top 15 next year if he stays healthy. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. I have Goff at 13, Lawrence at 14, Daniel Dimes at 15, Geno Smith at 16, Pickett at 17, Prescott at 18, and I got Stafford 19 and Tannehill at 20. So that kind of recaps our overall top 20 quarterbacks for our NFL rankings. Yeah, we probably could have done 25 or 30 of them, but that just gets to be way too damn long. So yeah, 20s think is a good.
You really want to talk about Sam Howell?
Hell no. Well, yeah. Sam Howell, yeah, sure. But
Wilson?
Zach Wilson? Oh hell no. Let's just go get him some I can't think of it. Let's go get him some Cougar. He'll be all right.
Yeah, he likes the
Cougs.
Go get some milk.
He likes the Cougs.
Yeah. So everyone, so that kind of wraps up everything. Now we should get it. Let's get into a little baseball here. Baseball time. I think that's gonna be kind of fun. So it's gonna be kind of, we got 4 guys. Eli kind of want to get a guy in. Donovan's got 2. I just got one. So the last couple of shows here, everyone, me and Donovan just been kind of just picking, one guy each and just kind of just talking about them and whatnot. Just kind of overall kind of rankings, likes and dislikes of player, where you might where you might fall or land, or if or you might be up or down. So, but yeah, that's kind of what we've been kind of doing. Me and Donovan that's what we've kind of been doing overall. And I think it's been kind of fun, a little football, a little baseball, since baseball is coming up. It's there's a lot of diehard baseball guys. I'm kind of getting a little bit more into baseball now too. So it's just kind of fun to kind of recap a little bit. There's some guys I liked and disliked, and this guy, I don't even know why we're even talking about him, but I guess we just have to talk about him.
Mhm. Real quick, some fairly topical news, I think, from today that we can go through here.
Yeah.
Ronald Acuna Jr., he's going to play for Team Venezuela in the
Ooh.
World Baseball Classic.
Ooh.
So
when is that happening?
That's real quick. That runs right through spring training.
Oh, nice.
Couple weeks, yeah.
It's good, but it puts, it's kind of controversial in a way, because it puts you in that you get some ready in game mode right away, more than spring training probably. But, we know that he came back off his injury last year and looked pretty good. So it'll be a really good test if you watch him in the World Baseball Classic to push him in that he's a top 3 pick, and it'll either solidify it, or if he looks like crap, it'll push him maybe down out of that third, top 3, but he's one to watch. Aaron Ashby, who in deeper leagues, like the 20 man that is out on the Outer Rhythm Discord, that's going to be a guy that you're probably not, you could draft deep in the late round and stash on the IL, but he's got a shoulder injury and he's not expected to make opening day. So that's kind of something that popped up. What happens is, they pitch all season, then they stop, then they start ramping back up, and then things don't feel right. So watch him. That could be scary. I wouldn't run away in dynasty leagues, but just in redrafts, he's kind of going to be like that late end stash, IL stash guy. Yu Darvish signed a 6-year, $108 million contract, so that'll put him through year 42. He's still got a lot left in the tank yet, I think. He's still proving to be a top pitcher at 35 last year. So
I might try. Honestly, I was thinking. I might try to get some shares of him if all possible this year.
Yeah,
and he actually did play fairly well last year, and I didn't have any shares of him, but just seeing what he was doing, it's just like, damn, dude, I want him on my team.
Yeah, the Blue Jays absolutely robbed Bo Bichette. 3 years, $33.6 million. That's
it.
That's all he got. Hell? Like, I almost make that much doing podcasts on Outer Rhythm. That's insane.
That is kind of sad.
One other notable
it's a hometown discount is what that is. Jesus Christ.
Dude, that I don't know. Who knows? That blows my mind. Kyle Tucker lost his arbitration hearing, and so he's only going to make $5 million this year. So we'll see how that all plays out. But he wanted 7.5, and he's going to get 5. So that's kind of the quick today's news, I guess. Today's news segment. So
yeah, there we go.
Let's hop into it.
Yes. So just off the bat, I messed up at his OPS. It's not 324. I must have been looking at something wrong. So I'm like, wait a minute, something's not right here. And I looked over. I'm like, oh my god,
it's 793.
Yep. I was looking. I'm like, oh my god. Yep. So that was my fault on that.
That's all right.
So people are gonna be like, people are gonna be looking. They're gonna be like, what? That can't be right.
And it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And these are you said Rotograph, right?
Fangraphs.
Fangraph. All right.
Yeah. So, that's where I got, just for his project. That's where I went for just for this year's projections.
Okay.
And
just so I don't miss speak. So Robert, whatever you want to call him. Robero. Boy.
Very nice.
He is a he is one of those players that have just, he came up in 2020 and in 56 games hit 11 home runs and swiped 9 bags, and just everybody was on everybody's radar. And then in 21, he had 13 homers and he batted 338 that year. And it was a shortened season. He had only 68 games. Last year, the consensus was Robert is the dude, take him in the second round. And for everybody, including myself, who took him in the second round, boy, were you disappointed. Just he did not return the value. He's got the underlying numbers yet to produce. It's just a matter now of, is he ever going to be healthy enough? And so it's a risk reward. And what I did and what brought this up was I was looking through NFC over the last since February 1st, NFC ADPs, and just kind of getting a feel for where everybody's been drafting. And it just jumped out at me that Robert was 46 as the average, and CEDRIC Mullins was 50. And I wanted to dig in a little more to say, who would I rather have? Robert bats third in the White Sox lineup. So again, another thing where last year it was like, you have to draft all the White Sox. If you have your entire team is White Sox, you're going to win your league. Not really what they said, but the presumption, right? And you drafted as many White Sox as you could. You drafted Grandal, you drafted Robert and Jimenez and Cease, and you drafted everybody you could. And outside of Cease, I think you were disappointed last year. And so for me, I can't draft Robert at 46 until he proves it to me. So I'm out this year on him, especially that high in any format.
Yeah, and I might have to agree with you there. I might pass up on him, and we were talking before. I actually drafted I actually drafted him in the 10th round in a smaller 10-man league, and then 2 rounds later, I drafted Tim Anderson. And the bad thing is, both these guys couldn't stay healthy. And I'm just trying to look back at some of these statistics real quick, and I'm still surprised to see that he had 12 homers, he had 56 RBIs, and I'm like, where in the hell did all these come from when the guy hasn't been playing that much? So I'm just like, what the hell, So, and I was just like, luckily, over on ESPN was the only places I actually had some of these guys, because, holding on to these guys for a month or 2 weeks or longer, it kind of sucks, because you have to grit your teeth. You're like, okay, well, maybe he's going to come back. Maybe he's able to like get me a couple more homers, especially in categories and stuff like that too. That he's going to have a good on base percentage and whatnot, and so you're hoping for a lot of these things. But when a player can't stay healthy, I mean, yeah, they're not going to help your team out for sure. Overall, they got him projected at 24 homers, and for me to actually see that, I guess for them to toss that out there, I'm gonna have to see that for sure.
Yeah. Yep. I just, it's too much risk where he's going at pick. If he's picked 46, I like a lot of floor in the beginning, a lot of floor players, and then after you get eight picks in, maybe 6, 7, 8 picks, depending on your build, how it's going, then maybe starts putting in a little bit of risk. But that's too much risk for me to take, especially in a deep league, because that could be it for you right there. You take him and he flops again, and that deep league's done. It's hard to turn those around. Shallower leagues, I could see it, but it's risk reward, and I just can't take that risk.
Yeah, I think this year I'm probably staying away from some Sox guys for sure. So I don't think I'm going to be taking any of them. And I've been doing some mocks, and I haven't even been drafting like any of these Sox guys at all. So, And I know your other guy here is and I must have been looking at the wrong thing again too, because his OPS is
That's all right. I
yeah, his
got it right here. He would be probably around a 766 OPS ish.
yeah, probably. Yeah, I probably was looking at the wrong stat here and put it in I put the oh, that I see what I did. I was
He did
actually
OB.
looking at
That's probably OBP.
yeah, yeah. I was looking
Yeah.
at the wrong. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong one for sure.
So,
Robert's he's very average. I was looking up like he rookie of the year in 2020, but that just seems kind of high. I mean, I haven't been as active probably the last few years, in baseball, but like I'm looking at his OPS, and it's like it looks like he had a big year in 2021, but just very average. Like even 24 homers, that's average. He doesn't steal a lot of bags, and he doesn't get on base a lot. Doesn't really hit for average hit. 278, that's average. He just screams average. Like I wouldn't take it with the 46th pick. That's too high.
Too much risk.
Because we're all in what 12. I mean, what's the average baseball league? What 12 teams? So he's not a fourth round pick.
Yeah, most averages are like either 10 to 12, and the one.
Yeah, so he's not a fourth round pick. My opinion.
For sure.
Yeah, go ahead,
I don't think I've had any Mullins, and I had some other different Orioles for sure. I think it was not Gunnarsson. I had a couple other different guys. The guy who went down to the Houston. Now he's with the Cubs now.
From the Orioles?
Yeah, he got traded to the Orioles during season. Trey Mancini.
Oh, Mancini. Yeah.
Yep,
from the Orioles. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
so I had shares of him. I didn't have any just saying like I didn't have any Mullins. I mean, I had a few Oriole guys, which was Mancini. Still had him. I mean, I think he kind of dipped a little bit when he ended up going down with Houston because they're a totally different team. But hopefully he can play fairly well with the Cubs. But I mean, overall, yeah, if it comes down to it, I'd probably take Mullins over Robert any day of the week for sure. And his home runs might dip a little bit. I probably should have put steals up. I think I might change that for next time. I should probably put the steals up in there, which kind of helps because bags are getting bigger now, and so I might, I probably should put some of that in there. So it looks like he projected maybe 28 steals. So if you got steals and stuff like that, especially in categories, I mean that's always a plus. Any steals you can get anywhere is going to benefit you for sure.
So yeah, and 2021 he was a 30-30 guy, and he took a big dip in the power last year, but we don't need him to do that because he's the leadoff guy, right? So he's the leadoff guy for the Orioles, and the Orioles are starting to they're bringing up all their young studs, so hopefully his runs go up this year. 91 and 89 the last 2 years, so hopefully we see a spike in his runs. His homers probably going to be around 20, but if he can rip you 30 stolen bases, that's pretty much a floor. I think at this point it's an expectation. So, he's going pick 50 on NFC data over the last, 9 days. And, for me, depending on how you start. Now, if you start with Trey Turner or someone that's Trey Turner is going to get you all across the board, but, if you don't get your steals in those first few picks, when all those good stud home runs, stolen base guys go, here's your default, around, NFC's 15 man. So this would be the third round, or, if you're going to go with a 12 man, here's where you can grab some of those stolen bases back and let them all pick Robert before you, because this is the guy I think you want over Robert. I think 50's, I think it's a little too long to wait for him. I might reach for him a little bit just to have that potential 20-30 stolen base, home run, stolen base upside.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, to piggyback on that, yeah, I'm looking at the kind of the whatever you call it, the matchup. Ooh, let's get it on. The tail of the tape or whatever. And I'm like, Mullins gets you the steals, about the same amount of home runs. OPS about the same. I'm a big category guy. Maybe I'm dated on that, but like I when I was more active in fantasy baseball, it was it was a category thing. I was trying to fill up and this guy, he's a doubles machine, which is, hey, if you still playing the old category, 15, 17 category league, that's a win every week, or, in the season, mark it down. Hey, I got Cedric Mullins. Hey, winning doubles. Average, they're about the same. Yeah, there's a lot of statistics across the board that are the same, and I'm like, why are you going to break the bank for Robert? Just Mullins. But Mullins got in the tiebreaker is the steals. It's not even close. And the at bats. I mean, he's got double that. I mean, he's two seasons of full, almost, over 650 at bats both seasons. So 2021 and 2022. That's to me that screams. He's in the lineup every day, and he's consistent. And between the two, I don't think either of them are world beaters, but Cedric Mullins absolutely should be the higher pick, and he's a better player.
Yeah, I was just looking at their averages real quick. I mean, Robert, just projected, average is a little bit higher, and I think their slugging is almost pretty similar in the 400s, I believe. So the OPS, I messed up on that, and then I think they're a little
pretty close. Yeah,
pretty close. Yeah, so that part I messed up on. The last ones I probably had right, but this one I kind of had. It probably is going to be wrong too on the next guy too. So it's kind of my own fault there. But this guy I kind of liked. When he is O'Neal Cruz. He was
O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah, he's like what 6'11", almost
6'7". It's a monster, dude.
Yeah, so he's
a shortstop.
Yeah, so he's a pretty tall guy, and luckily I was able to kind of get him in a couple leagues right away, and when he got called up, even though he was a rookie, I like the fact that he was able to get some homers up in there, which was rather nice because I think he actually put up. Yep, so he had about 17 homers, which is nice for a tall guy like him, and his power is huge too for what I know. So I just like the fact that you got a tall guy that can just really smack the ball out of nowhere. I like the fact that he's going to be an upcoming kind of second year player. So it's with him actually get more playing time. Let's see, he had about 87. Let's see, let me look here quick. I can't remember how many he played 87 games last year. So now it's going to be doubled up to, that's almost doubled, so he's going to be almost 128 games. As long as the guy can stay healthy, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to start oohing and ahhing over him if he actually starts out pretty hot.
Yeah. And he gets you a few steals. He stays, I'll just say, and then Donovan can jump in, but dude, he stays healthy over the course of a season. You're looking at potentially a 30 home run guy, maybe 15 to 20 steals. Fill up the line. His OPS, it doesn't look like it's ever going to be great, but if he can slug a little bit, not going to hit for average much, but hey, it goes back to categories, whatever your league preference is, but he's going to fill up a bunch of those boxes, especially in the power end. Slugging is always going to be up there, but where do they have him going, like on average, like picks?
Oh, so his OPS is actually 776 projected anyways. Like, so the OPS is actually wrong. So that's my fault, which I mentioned beforehand. So, but OBS. Overall, yep.
Yeah. Cruz on NFC data over since the beginning of February is going 65th overall. So
that's probably what, a 4th rounder, 5th rounder.
In NFC, that's a 15. So 45 to fourth, middle of the fifth round.
I mean, that's not too bad for a guy like him. And I'm sure, especially in the smaller leagues like that, it might go down a little bit more than that. Especially in smaller leagues, 10 to 12 more than likely. I mean, he get down there a little bit more, and he'll probably end up being more of a value to you down the road more than likely. I didn't do anything point wise. I wasn't quite. I did most of like the pitchers and stuff like that, but point wise, I'm not sure what he ended up with. Since I didn't do some of those stats on some of the batters, I did some of the pitchers, but I didn't have time for doing stuff in the batters. So I'm not quite sure how he ends up point wise, and especially in like if you're in points leagues and stuff like that. So I'm not quite sure what he ended up overall last year when he started for point wise there. But I like the fact that about 20 some homers, some good about 15 or 16 steals. That's always nice.
And he's 20. He's 22. He's 20. I mean, the sky's the limit. I mean, this guy 3 years from now, we could be talking about an MVP. You know what I mean? Like he's got that kind of potential, and it's just him staying healthy and tapping into that.
Yeah.
Last year he had, and this has been beat to death, but the hardest hit ball recorded last year at 122.4 exit velo. He just, when he gets a hold of him, he just smashes the piss out of the baseballs.
I think there was one where there was actually a nice headline where he smacked it. It was on Sports Center or HQ. I can't remember, where they said he smacked the ball so hard that it was one of the most hardest hit on record, I believe.
I think it was on record. Yeah, he only averaged 91.9 only. Compared to Giancarlo Stanton, who's probably arguably one of the hardest hitters, or Aaron Judge. Both of those averaged 95 plus exit velo on the year, but he's a rookie and he's 7 feet tall. So, I mean, if he can get his mechanics down and keeps hitting the balls like that, yeah, he could. I mean, if you look at his 162 average, so if he were to play the entire year, right? Baseball Reference has him for 33 home runs and 18 stolen bases. And at pick, 65? That's pretty darn good, That's a good shortstop to have. That's right up there. So yeah, sky, like Eli said, sky's the limit for that young man.
Yeah, especially
Go ahead, Jay.
Oh, I was just gonna say, especially in a 20-man league that we're all doing, someone like him will probably end up going pretty early, especially in a deeper league like this. I'm sure, more than likely.
Probably end of the third round, beginning of the fourth. A 20-man league for sure. And he reminds me of, I feel like the old man in the room here. My dated references. When you bring up power 6'7" infielder, immediately I think of Richie Sexson, the old Brewer, and I'm like this guy. But Richie Sexson, he was an all-star level guy. I mean, he didn't win any, he didn't win like an MVP, but he was always in the conversation in his prime. So I mean, this guy he reminds me of him a little bit. So yeah, I know O'Neal Cruz. He's probably going to be in the 20-man league. Spoiler alert: he's be on my team.
Okay.
He's coming. He's going home to roost, Jay.
Yeah, not if I dropped him first. But anyways, yeah. So that was my guy, and so Eli's got a guy up in here. He's not a batter, but as far as I know, Eli has been a Cincinnati, Reds fan for the longest time. So, and here you have it, Hunter Green.
I got to show someone. This isn't awful. I don't mean to talk over you, Jay, sir, but this has been an awful organization for a while now. I mean, it's been since I know the 2020 year, there was like 16 teams made the playoffs. Reds were like the 8th seed and they got crushed. I think the Braves, but other than that, I mean, they really haven't been a solid organization in 10 years, and there's not a lot of hope, except for this guy. This is the savior. This is the man, Hunter Green. He's the ace of the Red staff, which isn't saying much because the Reds are awful, but he's a strikeout pitcher. He's young. Went 5-13 last year. The ERA was, not very, not crazy bad, but like 4.4. So, he's got some work to do there. The whip could be a little bit lower. It was about 1.2 innings. Get the innings up. Get up. I'm sorry. I need some water. Oh God, I'm still trying to get the taste. Still trying to get the taste of Jameis Winston out of my mouth. He only pitched 125 innings last year, and so I'd like to have him get up, up over 200. That's, you want to be a high pick, especially in the National League where it's loaded with pitching. You want to be considered the next echelon. You got to put up at least 200 innings. Like I said, strikeout pitcher, only made 24 starts. Let's get that up. Let's get that up over 30. So I see this young man expanding, and where he's been drafted, I think he's starting pitching wise, he's going about 35 to 37, which sounds about right. But yeah, I like the upside, and I thought I'd give a little to the Reds. I grew up a Reds fan. I also like the Twins a lot, but I still have a soft spot. If the Reds were ever good again, I mean, I would fucking be on this shit like white on rice. It was crazy. I saw like Joey Votto's still on the roster. I'm like, what the hell is this? Because I was asleep at the wheel. I took a little lapse from baseball for a little bit, and I assumed this guy was long. Joey Votto was from like the glory day, from like the 2010, 2012 Reds that were, winning, close to 100 games and making the playoffs every year, So he's from, he's been around for a minute. So I was like, oh, this dude's he's still there, probably pushing 40 now, but name value. You can say, Stevenson, the other guy, they don't have a lot to work with. I mean, I'm selling hope here. I'm like snake oil. What was it? The snake oil salesman. I'm trying to tell people, hey, draft this Hunter Green guy. Hey, the Reds are going to win. No, they're not. Reds are going to be right where the Nationals are at. Right where the Pirates are. Just awful. Just probably a 102 loss team. But he's hope. He's hope, and I like the kid's good. He's only 23. I like upside. I like upside. I like O'Neal Cruz's upside. I like Hunter Green's upside. And, guys under 25, that's who I look at. Because I once upon a time, I was the first one on Tim Lincecum, back in the day, and he ended up winning 2 Cy Youngs. So I was the first one on that shit because he was, young 23-year-old, and I was like, this is my guy. I took it with a high pick. My brother was giving me a hard time. I'm like, fuck you. He won 2. So Hunter Green. Now I'm gonna have to get his jersey because I've totally sold. I put him over. I put him over like Roman Reigns style. I put him over.
Woo. So was that your only first MLB championship?
Fantasy. Well, because you know me, dude. I lapse on a lot of this. I mean, I'll start this year, but a lot of times it's hard for me to stay engaged. But yeah, like. That was no. I've won 2.
You won 2? One. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're tied.
Yeah.
So we're tied.
Yeah, but it was either 08. I think it was 08. I think Lincecum's rookie year is when I won my first baseball title. But yeah, it's been. I've been out of the game for a minute, but so a lot of my references, if I come on with these guys, a lot of my references are going to be from like a bygone era. Like who the hell? Google Richie Sexton. Google Tim Lincecum.
Wait, was Griffey with Votto on his?
Griff was with us, and then we shipped him to the White Sox because he retired, I think, in 2010. So Griffey was like the first couple years of when the Reds started, because they were awful for a while and they got good. So I'm hoping that happens here that we're awful and then become good. But Griffey, yeah, he got traded like mid-season to the White Sox
Gotcha.
that year. Then Griffey. It was hilarious because like Griffey was falling. He was in the dugout and he was falling asleep. Like when he was with the White Sox, it was all over Sports Center back in the day. He
Oh,
was like passing, like old man Griffey passing out in the dugout.
that's crazy. That's crazy. But um, Donovan, do you have anything else to say on Hunter Green real quick at all, or?
Yeah. Just so the only thing with Green now, Green's going about 111 overall in the NFC data. I think that's right about where you want it. You're risking it there. You're going to get the strikeouts from him, so that's where you're going to get that. It's going to pay off there. I don't think that's a terrible pick. The thing so I think he could get 200 strikeouts this year. But we need to be mindful of his innings. So last year he threw one start in AAA and then he came up to the majors. He had 133 innings. So he could probably do 160. I don't know that they're going to go much more than that, just to make sure they don't wear the young guy's arm out. So that's the only thing that holds me back. So like in a points league and that, he's going to get all the strikeouts. If you get those innings though, the innings, a point for an inning, like maybe ride him in the beginning and then try and trade him off just to, ride him hard and put him away wet. And, but ERA should come down. He was a 4.44 last year. That's just a product of being on the Reds, I think. So, yeah, I think you could see 200 strikeouts if he gets to that 160 mark pretty easy. So.
Look at this fucker. Look at this fucker. Yep. He's like, look at the lid. Look at the cubbies. See what you're doing there.
No, I was just trying to look quick to see if Hunter Green was point wise on my list, but I don't see him on here. So he must have had under 200 somewhere probably around the 200 some point range, I would believe. Because I was going to see where he was, what he had for points wise. So if he was a good value or not, because I mean, if you're especially in your deeper leagues, yeah, he's going to be a good value for you. I know I kind of had him off and on a little bit in some different, in some category leagues. I don't know if I had him in points leagues or not. I would have to double check on that. But I mean, overall, I like the fact that Hunter Green, he had quite a few strikes. As long as his innings stay up there, I like him. So I like him more in the lower end rounds more than likely, and I think he'll be a good value for you overall down the road. It's as long as he stays healthy and doesn't get injured. Yeah, he'll get you. They have him projecting 10 wins, 10 losses. If he gets you some wins in there, that's more the merrier. You're going to be happy with him overall.
Yeah. It's strictly. Some people say strictly business. Some people say strictly sexual. I say strictly strikeouts. This arrangement that we have, me and Hunter Green have when I draft him to my team, probably in the 6th round in our 20-man league. The agreement we have is you get me strikeouts. Okay, I'm not low expectations here, but I need 200 Ks. I need them.
Yeah.
So that's we're gonna work it out.
Yes. Well, I think we had ourselves some nice, some nice good talks about Lewis Roberts, Cedric Mullen, O'Neill Cruz, and Hunter Green. So I think we all had some good little conversations, get some hearing goods and bads about all four players. I know I'm going to be out on Robert myself. I'll probably try to catch a little Hunter Green, especially in deeper leagues and stuff like that. But yeah, overall, maybe I might pass up him in some, smaller leagues, because there'll be much more valuable pitchers. But you never know; pitchers are going to get hurt, and maybe he'll be a guy that you pick up on the waiver wire or something.
Next man up.
Yes, I think that's going to kind of wrap everything up, guys. I think we kind of went over just a little bit, but you know, when Eli is here, it kind of tends to kind of happen that way. You know, he's got a lot in his mind. Everybody, you know, he's got that. You know, he just likes to get his opinions in. You know, so
Super Bowl
yeah.
predictions.
Oh yes, yes, we should do that real quick. Oh, Eli, you can go first.
Yeah, yeah. I ain't even got to think about this.
Eagles 34, Chiefs 20.
Yeah, I'm
I'll do you one better. I'll do you one better, Jay. I'll do you one better. Guess who's going to be the game MVP?
Not
Your
Hurts.
boy Jalen Hurts, who you both were hating on tonight. Hating on him.
Oh no, I didn't hate on him.
Uh,
I believe you're in the right window there. I'm gonna go 31, 24, 31-24 sounds about right, Eagles.
I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go with the Chiefs, and I think it's going to be more of a like 27, 25, 22 game or somewhere in there, mid 20s. So, and I think your MVP will be Kelsey.
Ooh, tight end. Has
Yeah.
that ever happened before?
That's got to be
Tight
like
end?
maybe a first. I'm sure it's happened once, right?
Yeah, I never know because Kelsey's kind of that sleeper, and he does some magical things, and I think Kelsey will probably do her.
Question is he magically delicious? Does he like Lucky Charms?
Well, hey, this is the Kelsey Bowl. Come on now.
No tight end has ever won MVP according to.
It's probably all QBs and wide receivers or running backs. Either way, it's probably one of them. And just me tossing out there, but I'll say Kelsey just for shits and giggles. But I think Mahomes would probably be MVP if they do win. It'd probably be Mahomes more than likely. But I'm just gonna toss Kelsey in there for shits and giggles.
Maybe it'd be Isaiah Pacheco.
Hey, yeah, you never know.
Like that.
That's for sure. So
Pacheco.
I'm not sure what we're gonna do. I don't know what we're gonna do in the next show. Maybe we'll talk about some rookies, last year's rookies a little bit. Maybe do some running backs or wide receivers. I don't know. I'm not sure which direction we're gonna go yet. So stay tuned for that. We'll get it figured out. And yeah, I hope everybody enjoys watching the Super Bowl this weekend. I might get a little glimpse of it here and there. And who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? That's for damn sure. But
Super Bowl, Chad, thank you for listening. Chad, thank you for listening. Some other people were absent tonight, but guess what? They gonna be back. Donovan's got some company for the Super Bowl. Eli and Jamie will probably be eating some pizza and watching some first half, and then he's got to go to work. You always got to go to work for the damn Super Bowl. You should call up Bruce Bones and say, hey, boss, I gotta watch the second half. It's the first time I gotta watch the second half. I'll drop my Kentucky accent here.
Yeah,
that was beautiful.
But it'll be a good game, man. It'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. And but yeah, we'll all kind of figure out our next show, what's gonna happen. Eli and I might be Tuesday, and Donovan and I probably on Sundays. So we'll just kind of see what happens for next show. For next week upcoming. Not sure which direction I'm gonna go yet. I'll think about that over the weekend here, and then try to get a game plan. And I don't know. I was thinking maybe some rookies. We could probably both of us we can talk about rookies because I know everybody's gonna have some opinions on rookies. Maybe toss in some of the prospect rookies. I don't know yet. So we'll have to see. So stay tuned for that. And, and we'll be talking some more MLB guys too. So anyways.
Draft is coming. Spring training's coming. Draft is coming. It's in the air. We should all fly down to Fort Myers and go to spring training, damn it. We should do.
But yes.
Isn't Camelback Ranch closer to you guys? In Arizona?
That's farther. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
I'm pretty sure.
Yep, and I think Eli froze for a moment. Yeah.
I'm game. Let's go. Let's go. That's fine. Let's go.
All right. So, Donovan, thank you for your presence tonight. Eli, glad you were able to make it. We had a nice little
Yes, sir.
conversation of our QB rankings. A lot were different, some are similar, and those will change in due time. And we'll probably relate some of that on the some shows later on. Just kind of recap on some of that stuff. Just and yeah, who knows? Summer's coming along too. So just a lot of stuff going on right now. So, but anyways, everyone enjoy Super Bowl. I'm Jamie. That's Eli. That's Donovan. We'll check you out next time. So later, guys.
All right. Out.
Bye.